Today's video is going to be another episode of the grab bag series, where I blindly reach into a bag of knives, grab a handful, and proceed to clean them up in a 24-hour period. So I got the 5 pocket knives and 1 fixed blade done, and I'm going to show those to you, and I'm real happy with how a couple of them came out. They even exceeded my expectations to how nice they were going to look when they were done. So stick around, because that episode's coming right up. Hello everybody, and thanks for coming back for another video. This is Dave, and I'm glad you're with me out here in the shop today, finishing up these pocket knives, and I'm going to grab another handful to work on, and so we'll see what we pick today. You never know what you're going to get in that bag. There's a huge variety of knives in there, in both bags, the fixed blades and the pocket knives, the folding knives. So I'll jump right in and show you these knives I've got done and explain to you a little bit about what I did to make them look the way they look now. So we'll start off with this really basic, simple keychain knife right here. It had this on it, West Virginia, this little sticker type deal. And I put a piece of my glittery vinyl on it just to make it more universal, so that somebody might want this knife that is not from West Virginia. Nothing against West Virginia, but makes it a little bit more universal now. So maybe somebody will give me 50 cents for it one day that likes purple. We'll see. Next up, we have this one right here. It was a little scratched up on the compass. If you saw the last video where I showed this, the compass pivots out like that, so it gets it away from the metal far enough to where it actually does work, and it is accurate. And so I took a little scratch remover and got a lot of those scratches out. This one does have a light, and it has some other features that I didn't show originally because I didn't know it had them on there. So you are able to change the batteries. There's a little screw right here, Phillips head screw, where you can change the batteries. And then right here we have a little screwdriver, and this would be suitable for eyeglasses or changing this battery out. And it's right here on the knife. And then on the opposite end of that handle, the same scale, we have this tool right here, which is a nail file and flat tip screwdriver. And I believe at least some of these tools were modeled after a Victorinox, because this right here looks a lot like a Victorinox. I didn't pull one out to compare them side by side, but it almost looks like it could interchange with a Victorinox. And the same goes with this blade right here, the wire stripper, screwdriver, cap lifter. It is cut out a little bit different than a Victorinox. It looks very similar. And in addition to that, the main blade right here, which is in very good shape. So that's kind of neat. And then this tool has the driver, and it actually has these bits right here, and they're double-ended bits. So you actually get 8 different tools. You can pull this out. It is magnetic. Flip it around for a different size. And same thing here with the screwdriver. You have a flat tip on this end and a Phillips on that end. So that's pretty cool. And they fit pretty securely down in this little rubber thing here. And so there's that. It is kind of thick and chunky and bulky, but it does have a lot of really neat tools on it. It has the corkscrew here on the back, and so the only other tool on the back side is this sewing awl right here, and it seems to be pretty nice and sharp. But it also has right here this tool, which you could not access without a tool. You needed another tool. There's no nail neck on it anywhere. There was just no way to open it without taking something else and prying the tool out. So what I did, I'll open it to show you. I got it to where you can open it by hand now, and it's a pair of pliers. Pretty neat. So what I did in order to be able to open this is this aluminum liner right here. I filed that down so that you could gain a little bit more access. Yeah, and then on the pliers themselves, I filed this bevel in right here so that when it's closed, you can see the little gap there. And on the other side, you don't have that gap like you do here. And that's just enough to be a kind of a nail neck for it. The pliers are still functional. Right there, you can see by adding that, I'm able to get my thumbnail and open up the pliers. So there's that knife fixed up. Next up, we have this one right here. And here's how it turned out. It's almost new now. The blades are in really good shape. They weren't too bad a shape. I just had to clean them up a little bit. There's a few spots on them here and there, but otherwise, this is like a new knife now. There's the pen blade. And this is an Imperial Barlow, if I didn't say that already. But the handle's cleaned up very nice. They had a lot of discoloration on them and everything. I was able to remove and gave it a good polish. And so there's our little Barlow. This next knife right here had a broken blade. It was a 2-blader, and I turned it into a single blader, and here it is now. So in addition to the cracks I noticed before when cleaning it up, I noticed this was cracked too. So I glued all the areas that had cracks, and I managed to get some super glue up underneath each one of these halves and glue them down. And so it's nice and secure now. This is an old candy stripe jackknife, and like I said, I turned it into a single blader. The other blade was broken, and this blade isn't in too bad a shape right here. It has a nice full swedge on it. A little bit of pitting in the blade right here in that swedge. But this knife was made by the Challenge Cutlery Corporation. And they were in business from 1905 to 1928 in Bridgeport, Connecticut. So for a 100-year-old knife, I think it came out pretty nice. Definitely looking a lot better than it did when I started on it. Got rid of the broken blade and made it a nice functional knife again. And I just love those candy stripe celluloid handles on this one. So there's that one. And then next up to show you, I'll show you this fixed blade right here. And this is the Spanish Army knife copy made in China. And here's what it looks like now. I went ahead and knocked out a quick sheath for it out of some scraps I had laying around. And it originally had this plastic handle right here that's broken. You can see the chip missing in it, this green plastic handle. So now it has a walnut handle. And I took all that black off of the blade. That took the most time. I think it was a powder coat finish. I'm not sure, but it seemed like a powder coat finish. But I was able to remove all that, and they can make them a whole lot quicker by painting the blades, because all those grind marks were all filled in by paint. So I had to sand a lot of them out, and I didn't get them all completely. You can still see some right here, but these were very deep on both sides, these factory grind marks, and the paint just filled them in. And so I removed a lot of that, and I didn't go crazy buffing it or anything like that to polish it up. I just left it kind of like with a finish like it has now, like you see. But I think the handle, the wooden handle, makes it look a lot better. I went with walnut because I thought that would look good with the black. And so there's how that one turned out. And then the sheath, like I said, it was just a bunch of scraps I had laying around. Put a leg tie on it, belt loop, Chicago bolts, rivets. And I just used an oak leaf stamp I had to stamp some ink to kind of make it look camouflage somewhat. And so there's that knife. I'll set it over there. And then last up to show you before we grab some more to work on is this one right here. And this is the knife I used in my thumbnail today. And it's an old Camillus. And this is not it. This is one I pulled out that's identical that I did here a while back. And I used East Indian rosewood on this one. But this is the same model Camillus as that one. And this one's in a little bit better shape. And I'll explain why. And here's what we have now on this one. Like I said, it's the same knife, but I left a lot of pitting in the bolsters. I didn't sand all that pitting out. The blades are in a little bit better shape on that other one, although it does have good action. The pen blade is more of like a very slim whittling blade now. I still haven't done the edge on it. It has a little chip in it there. But yeah, all the tools are in better shape and functioning. And I didn't want to go with a dark wood like I did on that other one. I wanted this one to be a little bit different. So this is actually sea grape wood. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that or not, but the sea grape tree is prevalent in my area. We have a lot of sea grapes, and I had one that was actually growing over the roof of my house, and it was getting a little bit out of control, so I had to cut it down. Me and my friend cut it down this past summer, and I've got a lot of the wood that I saved to use for on my smoker, and then also to make things like this with it. And that's sea grape wood. And it has a real pretty grain in it. And this is just its natural color with just some finishing oil on it. It was very rusty. And then when I was cleaning it up, I noticed right here, the previous owner stamped his initials in this knife. Kind of hard to see, but it says JF. And I wanted to leave that. I didn't want to completely remove that. I thought that's kind of cool. It's a part of the knife, you know. It's history. He obviously cared enough about this knife to stamp his initials in it at one time, and so I wanted to preserve that. And so that's why the bolsters have a lot more pitting in them than they do, you know, on this one right here. But I thought it came out pretty nice. I like it. But yeah, it makes it very unique and different, I think. So there's that one. I'm going to reach into our fixed blade bag, grab one of these. Okay, that thing's heavy. Well, check that out. We'll start off with this fixed blade. Okay, this is interesting. Got the duct tape off of it. It's very rusty. It has all steel scales on it. These could be brass inserts, I'm not sure. It looks like they're probably brass, maybe. And it's a small boot knife, dagger, but it's very heavy, it being all steel like it is. And because it's all steel, of course, it's all rusty. So we'll clean this one up and see how it turns out. Okay, let's reach into our bag here and see what we can get today. Let's grab a big old handful here. There we go. There we go. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 again today. So we'll start off with this guy right here. This is a Spyderco. Highly collectible knife right here. These were limited production. So it locks with this spring right here you lift up. And then it has a wire belt clip here that can be repositioned in 4 different locations. Where it's at now, here, You can put it here, or you could put it here. And it says Spyderco in the handle on this side, and then this side says USA. And it's very dirty. It has some rust here on the blade, both sides. Hopefully it's not pitted. We'll find out when we go to clean this thing up. Like I said before, these are highly collectible and somewhat rare because they were in limited production. Not sure what that blade cutout is. Most of these you see, it's a spider web with a spider in it. Yeah, I believe these were made from 1996 to 2000. And like I mentioned before, they're highly collectible. So we'll get this one cleaned up, and I may end up putting this right away on eBay to sell, to finance some more knives. I don't collect Spydercos, and I was really surprised actually to see one in a batch of knives that I got. So I'll probably be cleaning this one up and putting it on eBay here shortly, and that'll finance some more knives for the grab bag series. Next up, we have this one here. It's an advertising knife, and the blade's not in bad shape at all, really. It's a liner lock. I believe it's aluminum scales. Doesn't look like it's missing any of the hardware. It is locking up good, and it doesn't have any play in it. It's not an assisted knife. Let's see. Yeah, it's not an assisted knife, but it does function well. A little bit scratched up. Seems to be functioning very well. So we'll get that one cleaned up. Okay, and then we have this big old bone-handled lockback, and this is 5 inches long. And there again, the blade doesn't look too bad. It's 9 inches overall, opened up. Handmade 440 stainless steel, it says on the blade here. And I'm sure it's made in Pakistan. Yeah, there's Pakistan right there on the spring. No play in it. Fit and finish isn't great. You can see right here some gaps and everything. We have stainless steel bolsters on this one, and it's about the weight of a buck 110 or an LB7. So we'll clean that one up. Next up, we have this. So this one's marked Korikama, and it says Enox ID. So I have to look this one up. I've never seen that name before, so I'm going to have to look that one up. The scissors have a little bit of rust on them here. And then we have the big blade. We also have a file blade here. A little bit dirty down inside. Not bad. Scales are in pretty good shape. So we'll get that one cleaned up. And then next up, today's pick, we have a very dirty hobo knife that has a spoon. And here it is right now. And I assume we have a fork and a knife. There's the knife. And what does this one say? Ridge Runner. So this one says Ridge Runner. Nice clip point blade. And then on the back side it has a model number, and then it says stainless steel, handcrafted in China. And then last up, we have a fork and a cap lifter. Closes spoon up. And no play in the knife at all. Not sure what the handles are made out of. It looks like it's painted metal of some kind. it might be stainless. It is magnetic, so if it's stainless, it's 400 series. Yeah, this one just needs a little bit of love, and we'll get it cleaned up, looking better. And then last up in today's picks, we have this, an Imperial fish knife. Missing part of the covering right here. Let's see what the blades look like. This one has some big chips in the edge. And this is the 56 to 88 Imperial tank stamp. So yeah, we do have some edge damage on it. And let's see what this blade looks like. A little bit of rust on it. Not too terribly bad. And that's your fish scaler, hook remover, cap lifter. So it has no action in it. It needs some cleanup, something done with the handles, but it's not dented up like a lot of them are, so that's good. So I think this one will clean up really nice. So let's review our cleanups again. We had this little guy here, this one right here. We had our Barlow and our very old vintage jackknife with celluloid handles. We had our custom sea grape wood handled Camillus knife, and we had our Spanish Army replica knife. What's your favorite? Please do me a favor and hit the like button, share the video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. All those things, they really help out my channel, and you could be a part of helping my channel grow by hitting the like button, sharing the video, subscribing, and come on back and watch the next video where I show all these knives fixed up, and we'll grab another handful. We have plenty to choose from. So I hope everybody had a great weekend and you have a great week coming up. This is Dave. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.